day in class, and I was going to teach myself what to do. That's what I'm going to make this call about. I'm going to make it about 15 minutes or so. We're going to wrap it up. We will send out recordings of this call. So if you miss something, don't worry. But if I was you, I would just take notes for you have that hand-eye connection. But I'm going to tell you guys how to race to a deal and how to make money quick, how we make money. So the all you need to do, guys, really is just find a deal. What the heck is a deal? A deal is a piece of property right beyond construction, right? So you see a neighborhood going up, go right past that, right on the other side of it, away from the city, and find you a farm or a ranch property, right? That's getting built up. So drive to the edge of town, wherever there's activity. Now, and you can do this on Google Earth. You can do this on Google Drive, whatever. Go to the edge of the city where you're seeing brand new neighborhoods go up, and just go right past that and start calling farm and ranch properties. You want to find, like, you could do 20 acres or 10 acres or whatever, but the easy ones are like 50 and 100, right? Up to like 200 or 300. What makes a deal a deal? Okay, the more amount of road frontage touching the property makes it more of a deal. Being on a main artery or highway makes it a better deal. If you got to exit the main highway and then just drive out into the country for 30 minutes, it's getting less and less. The chances of it becoming a deal are becoming less and less by the minute. So you get on Google Earth, you just find out where the neighborhoods are going up in any direction, doesn't matter, north, east, southwest. Go past the neighborhoods, find farm and ranch properties that are underpriced. Okay, if you guys start getting stuff like at 30,000 an acre and above, you like really have to do engineering and throw up houses to make any profit, right? You can try to wholesale that all day, but good luck. You know, it's a very specific buyer that's going to pick that up in that condition for that price. So what we look for is stuff that's underpriced, somewhere between like 5 and 10,000 is a sweet spot. If you can find something like that, you just got to keep going a little further out, and you'll definitely find it. Right? We just picked up one like within 10 minutes of San Antonio for 8,000 an acre. So lots of looking, lots of road frontage. Once you start to get like to 10 to 15, you're probably still pretty good. By the time you're at 20 plus an acre, now you got to sell your 10 acre tracts for like 250, 300 to make profit, right? And you're starting to get into no man's land again, where you got to start doing development. So somewhere like 15 and south, as low as possible, 5,000-6,000 an acre. We just bid one for 420 acres. We just sent a purchase and sell agreement for $2 million even. So it makes it 4,500 an acre, right? They shot it back. They said they're not ready for us. That doesn't matter. That was the first touch. They usually take about a year to say yes. So don't feel bad about that. You can grab one of your friends or family members. Somebody has access to the MLS in San Antonio. You can just use the filters on there if they know how to use it. There's plenty of people in the Hivemind that'll help you. All you got to do is find stuff that's listed. Start with stuff that's 50 acres and above with no upper limit. And then you can go like to a map view. And that map view, you can zoom out and you can see, like, it'll show price tags like on the map. So you'll see like north side, 3 million. You click on it, 400 acres. South side, 1 million. Click on that. Just start making, all you got to do is now call every single one of those. Call those agents, make an offer. Usually our offer is about half of the listed price, right? Because agents like to blow things up. So if it's listed for $1 million, we're going to call and say, hey, we'll give you $500K cash, or we'll give you $1 million, but we want to make it 360 payments. Don't mention interest. Don't mention anything else. We just want to just pay it out over time. Start there. Those are your two offers. Send it. No questions asked. Send it. That's it. They'll call you back. They'll say, no, you're crazy. Ain't going to happen. Or they'll say yes. Or they'll say, hey, my seller wants to talk to you. Or, hey, can we talk about your offer? So that's all you're trying to do, is just start a conversation, right, with this exact type of property. Now you have an agent that says, yep, your offer sounds good. I think we're going to take it. What's your next step? You need to call the water board, the water district, and some water well companies. Find out what it costs to get water there. If they say you need to do a study, fine. Do you know what size line it is out at the street? It's a 4-inch. Perfect. Got it. Thank you. That's pretty much all you have to do, guys. That's it. Make sure that they want to play ball. Make sure there's water there. Then you submit it to us, right? If you're just not really sure about a property, go to YouTube and say, hey, how do I run comps on land? Right? So you go, again, you find a 100-acre tract, 10,000 an acre, looks pretty good, $1 million. Start looking for 10-acre tracts. Your target sales for 10-acre tracts for that property is going to be about 18 to 25,000 for 10-acre tracts. If the guy wants 10,000 an acre for 100 acres, and you're seeing all the 10-acre tracts are going for like 120, 119, 115, it's not a deal at that price. So you got to go back in. You got to work on your numbers. So what we're trying to do is avoid people just, for one, wasting your own time, but submitting the deals to us, and then we can't help you because you weren't on this call, right? So you show up to the calls, you get educated, you know what to look for. It's a very simple, cut and dry process. There's no science to it. I think we're all guilty of this, that the numbers are so tremendous that we want it to be difficult, right? We say, dang, that's a freaking $5 million ranch. I bet it's going to be hard to get it. And you need to have that mindset shift where you just got to be agnostic to the numbers. Like either the numbers work or they don't. Either the seller wants to sell or they don't. The agent wants to play bar or they don't. One way to get an agent on board quickly is to say, hey, I don't care how we buy it, 0 down, 0%, whatever we do, you're still getting your full price at closing. So I don't want you to think that I'm trying to cut you out of the deal or do something funny. At closing, you're getting your whole commission. If we can add a point or two on our side, we will. And that's true. We will. We like to overpay. So that's all you really got to do, guys. Get out there, make the offers. It's always 2 offers. It's never 1. You're making educated offers because you're getting on YouTube and you're saying, how do I run comps? And you're doing what I said. Find out what 10-acre tracts are selling for around the property you're aiming at, right? Before we sign contract, before we give them earnest money, we do ghost ads. So it's an ad on Facebook. It doesn't have any identifiers. It doesn't have an address. It doesn't have a picture. You're not talking about the seller's property that you just talked to. You just want to get a general consensus if people in that area want to buy 10-acre tracts for that price. If you run like $1 a day or $3 a day on Facebook and you get back 0 replies in a week or 2, you do not have a deal. You need to go back to the drawing board. You need to work on that price with the seller and say, hey, I did a little market research. 10-acre tracts are not selling for that. So I'm out. So, it's probably going to have to be here. And what you could do to test the market is to say your 10-acre tracts are listed for $199,000. Drop it to $189 for a week. Nothing happens. Drop it to $179 for a week. Nothing happens. Drop it again. Sooner or later, you'll find a sweet spot where people start messaging you, hey, can I see the land? Hey, can I see the land? Hey, can I see the land? You'll know what it feels like when you have a deal because people are blowing you up. They like that price. So that's pretty much it, man. That's the whole entire call tonight. Just get online, find somebody to help you get on the MLS. You can find these on Zillow, Redfin. You don't absolutely need MLS access, but if you want to go fast, get on the MLS, see what's listed for 50 acres and above. Whatever price they have it listed for, you're going to check out your comps, make sure your 10-acre tracts are going for what we want to sell them for. Once your 10-acre tracts go beyond $300,000, I would probably just dump that property because unless it's in a super, super hot area, not a lot of people can afford $300,000 for 10 acres. So the sweet spot is like 150, even 99,000 for 10 acres, even better. But like 150 to 250 is probably your sweet spot. Once you go beyond 250, you're kind of getting into like that rare territory. And then 300, if you got to sell a 10-acre tract for 300K based on the seller's sell price, then the air gets kind of thin up there. Will they move? Absolutely. It just takes longer. I'm going to take some questions, guys. Everybody's going to get a copy of this recording because I know I went super fast, but that's like the most condensed version of what we do and how we do it. Oh, once you need the earnest money, all that other stuff, then that's when we come in. So if you want us to partner with you or whatever, fund a deal, send it to us. Let us take a look at it. But don't go out and lock stuff up without doing your research and making sure that you actually have a deal in your hand. So questions, guys?
And don't forget, don't lock something up and come to us and say, I need the money 2 days from now.
Yeah, that's another one. We get if you sign research. It up. Yeah, like, hey, I need $12,000 of earnest money tomorrow. Like, well, send me the deal. Let me look at it. Like, oh no, why'd you sign this up? You can't just go haphazardly sign things up. It's bad for your freedom. Feeling better, Frank?
I'm vertical today.
Hey, you look pretty good.
Yeah, I caught the flu somehow over the weekend.
Oh, that thing's going around.
Yeah, it happens. C'est la vie.
Questions, guys, questions.
I got a question. So you said with the ghost ads, are we doing that before we even bring it to you?
Yes, because how do I know if it's a deal or not? Right? You bring it to me and you're like, hey, this sounds pretty good. I think we can sell our 10-acre tracts for $250. And I'm like, okay, well, how do you know that? Like, well, I looked on Zillow. Like, are they sold? No, they're listed. Well, that's not exactly sold. I'd rather see pending. It's a little flag that says pending. So if you want to run the test, if you know stuff's listed for $250, it's been sitting for 400 days, it's probably not a good price. Right? So go to Facebook Marketplace, post like 10 acres, 199,000. No identifiers of the property because you're not under contract yet. That'd be illegal for you to market a property that you don't have under contract. And that's it. And then you start getting lots of dings, $1 a day, $5 a day, phones blowing up. 199, them 10-acre tracts are going to fly. Right? So now we'll take a closer look at it. But if you run ads for 3 weeks and you get 0 bings, then why bring it to us? There's nothing we can do. Like this, you just have the incorrect price. You need to go back to the seller and work on the price.
What safe information can they list in that? 10 acres, 199. County, maybe an intersection. What's safe to list? What's safe not to list? That way they can come back here and look and listen and go, oh yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah, it's not illegal to ask Facebook what 10-acre tracts are going for by Highway 151 and Highway 90, right? So you're not pointing at a specific property. Do not take a picture of the person's property in any form or fashion and then use that as your copy for your ad because you're not in a contract. You cannot be marketing that property. But I know that 10-acre tracts on Northwest San Antonio, 5 minutes outside the loop, I can sell those all day for $250. Bam. So you know what your numbers are. And then that's the best time to bring it to us to say, hey, I have a deal that works. There's plenty of paved road frontage. The wells are 15,000. There's an 8-inch water line at the road. I have 2,000 feet of road frontage, flood zone in the back a little bit on 10% of the property. And my phone's blowing up at 249. Well, damn, where do I send your check to? All right. You already fully delivered. Hey, just FYI, guys, if y'all, Daniel and myself, we're in Phoenix, Arizona. We're coming out on a podcast called Real Estate Disruptors tomorrow at 3 p.m. Texas time. So if you guys watch live on Facebook or YouTube, make sure y'all drop some comments and some hearts and some flames and some aliens and whatever else you got.
You guys are busy.
Yeah, man, it's been pretty good.
Gotcha.
Hey, questions, guys. I just gave y'all our whole entire game all in like 12 minutes. I bet somebody has a question.
I just need that recording so I could really tighten up my game a lot more on those big tracks.
Super easy, man. The big tracks are easier because there's more money in the deal, right? So you get a little tiny tract of 14 acres or 19 acres, and it's like you're trying to squeeze blood out of a rock. But you get 140 acres, and like, damn, you could sell off 80 of it. Now you have 60 acres for free. What do you want to do with that last piece? I want my cash. I want to entitle it. I'm just going to hang on to it. All that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's easy game. Find the properties, make 2 offers to everybody. If you don't have a CRM, get one. There's a lot of free ones out there. Hivemind has a white labeled one that we use. It doesn't matter what CRM you use, they're all the same. All you want to do is every time you talk to somebody or you make an offer, put the information into the CRM and text the person you got into contact with, be it the agent or the seller, every 90 days and says that all the text message says is, did you sell the property yet? And it says that every 90 days forever for the rest of their life. And you forgot about it, right? It's been 2 years have gone by and they're still getting a text message every 90 days that says, did you sell the property yet? So that way, for one, they keep you in mind. They know you're serious. But when they're ready to drop 12 months from now, they call you back and say, hey, the seller decided to consider your offer. She wants to know if it's still good. Yeah, the offer's probably still good. Let's take a look at it real quick and we'll see if those numbers still work. So that's it, guys. It's a touch, 2 offers, and an automated follow-up. If you're not doing the automated follow-up, then it's going to take you a long time to become successful. Because think about it. If you're writing these down in a notebook, right, and then remembering to call them on a calendar, you're going to start to drop stuff, especially when you've made 100 or 1,000 contacts. You're going to start to forget stuff. So you're losing money, right, because you're dependent on a sheet of paper that you're probably going to lose, envelopes, scribbling on stuff as you go. So any kind of CRM, even a free one, put them on an automatic drip, and that's it, man. Send out as many of those as you can. You send out 100 offers, you get 1 or 2 deals. If people do not have questions, I'm going to bounce like in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. This meeting is adjourned. That's pretty much all we do, man. It's so simple, but I feel like we want it to be complicated because the numbers are big. Like, it has to be complicated.
Michael Flores asked in chat, is there a link for direct sellers?
A link for direct sellers? What does that mean?
I don't know. Mike Flores, speak up.
Well, we've been getting a lot of leads from that other guy, and some of them are actual sellers. So a lot of this is more like if a wholesaler sending us a deal, something a little bit more geared just towards them.
Daniel has a link, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to refine it so that way when somebody, a wholesaler, anybody sends us a deal, it has to go through those like initial like 12 or 15 questions. Like, did you run your ads? Are you getting hits at whatever your target sales price is? So we're trying to make it where a lead can't be submitted unless it's gone through that process. That's what we're trying to do to help streamline. And then we're going to drop a few videos that explain again kind of what I talked about on the call tonight. Is that what are we looking for? What are the steps between the deal and now? Because worst thing you guys can do is send us an address and say, hey, this guy wants to sell. Like, all right, now what do we do? Right? You still have like 25 things to do. You got to call the utility companies, the water company. There's a lot of phone time, Facebook ads. There's a lot of things you have to do on your end. If you just serve it up on a hot platter ready to go, then we'll just throw the cash at it, sign it up, and it's ready to go to the next stage. Any other questions, guys?
And that URL, by the way, is in the chat, submitbigland.com.
There you go.
A couple of times.
Hey, Anthony, I haven't been getting the notifications like through text message.
Okay, yeah, just message Gene and tell him just add you back on.
Okay, Gene, I got to see how I can message him.
On Facebook.
Okay.
Or just text customer service number and say, hey, is Gene around? I need him to put something for me. It's a subscription based. This called a subscription, but so every now and then the VAs just come through and just clean it all out. But just tell them to leave you in the on position.
Yeah, I was getting them like real recent. Just stopped getting them maybe the last week or two.
Yeah, they kind of go through there and just pull the people that stop paying, card declines, that kind of stuff.
Okay, I got you.
Cool, guys. Any questions? I know that was a lot of information. We are gonna anybody that's on this call, we can send you the recording if you want it. Just message customer service 210-972-1842. 210-972-1842. Message customer service and say Anthony said to give me the recording from that call. I think this is probably the most cut and dry call we've ever had. But those are the steps. There's nothing else. After that, it's just really, having the nerve to go out and make those contacts. And if you don't want to do it yourself, put somebody to do it. My friend's 14-year-old son is making offers, and a lot of them. Find somebody who's interested in this business or somebody that can help you, and see if they make the offers for you if you don't have time to do it. But that's all it is. Make 2 offers to every property and automate the follow-up. And then once it's time to come in and do contracts or legals or bring in cash, me and Daniel are here, ready to go, ready to buy something right now today. So I appreciate you guys for being on here, man. Hit me up.
Oh, you're not over yet, Anthony.
What do you got?
Don't be afraid to hit this little mute button in the lower left-hand corner and speak up, people. I promise you, we won't bite your heads off. But Gilbert Garza asked a question in chat. In the forum, it says seller's name. Can we put the realtor's name in there as well for all that information? I imagine we'd prefer you do the research and try to find the actual seller's name and include the realtor's name, who you're in contact with. Anthony?
Yeah, not a bad idea. Yeah, I think whoever you talk to first and foremost. But yeah, if you can find a seller's name too and a realtor, that'd be great. If you only got a hold of the realtor, some realtors play defense and they don't want you to find that number. You can't find it. Just put the realtor's number in there and then text them, because if you follow up with that realtor 3 months, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, they haven't sold it, they're going to be pretty motivated at that point, right? Somebody said they don't know how to find deals. Find somebody, just post on Facebook, like on a San Antonio real estate investor group, and say, hey, I want to find some land deals. Can somebody with MLS access contact me? I'll give you a few dollars. Don't waste any realtors' time. It's a big pain in the butt. They work hard enough. They don't have to work for free. If it's a new relationship, offer some cash if you can. If you don't have any cash, not even $50 to offer the realtor for their time, partner with somebody else, man. Post in the Hivemind CRM and say, hey, I want somebody that has MLS access. I'm willing to do the work, put in some calls, send out the offers. If you can give the realtor the $50 for helping us out. So always think in terms of what you can provide to any relationship, and then all of a sudden everybody would want to help you, right? So if you're constantly asking people for things, then you're always pulling on their energy. Sometimes they're gonna start to avoid you. So when you reach out to somebody and say, hey, can you help me pull a list of new ranches this month? Say, can I cash out you $100 for your time? Whether they ask that, sometimes they might not even take it, but at least the fact that you offered. And if you don't have the 100, again, post in Hivemind CRM Facebook group and say, hey, I want to hit up some MLSs. Can anybody with access hit me up, and I'd like to buy you dinner. Something like that.
Hey, Anthony, it's John Alexander.
What's up, John?
Hey, listen,
John.
The John Alexander.
I just
I just grabbed your Bitcoin too.
Oh, look at got my Bitcoin. Hey, listen, it was great meeting you guys for this past weekend. But I wanted to chime in here for everybody in this group. And while I'm saying this, if somebody can grab Trans YouTube link or whatever they have, I want to express something here. It's very important so that we can all grow. The way we grow is by supporting Anthony and Daniel, especially when they get on such a big podcast. This podcast that they're doing tomorrow, guys, this is one of the biggest real estate podcasts out there. Everybody who's anybody has been on that podcast. And when you go on there, you blow up. Now, what I'm going to suggest that we all do is make sure that we are subscribed to Trans channel so that when it goes live tomorrow, whatever you're doing, if you can even take a couple of minutes while they're talking, go on his YouTube channel and talk about, say anything, positive about Daniel and Anthony that you can, or the Hivemind group. Say you're in it, say something positive to help push the algorithm so that thing gets out there even more. And the whole point of this is because the more Anthony and Daniel gets out there in the mainstream, the more money that's going to flow into their hands. And that means we get access to that capital as members in here. So this is why it's so important to support these guys and help push these guys to the top. We're in our own Super Bowl, guys, and this is our These are our quarterbacks right here.
Dude,
All right,
thank you, John.
Yes, sir. What's that YouTube channel again?
It's Real Estate Disruptors.
Real Estate Disruptors. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, John, for pointing that out, man.
The link.
Yeah, it's important, guys. It really is important. These guys, when these guys go on those shows, money's out there listening, and the money's going to flow to these guys. They're going to hit these guys up and say, "Hey, we got 2 million, we got 20 million, we've got a hedge fund. What it sounds like you guys are blowing up. We want to be part of it." And they're going to funnel money into these guys, and that's our money. That becomes our money to do these deals.
Yes, sir.
That's words of wisdom right there, man, from John. If you guys don't know who John Alexander is, go look him up on YouTube and on Facebook. And the guy's he's been mentoring Daniel and myself since before we launched Hivemind. And every time we talk to him, we learn something new. So, in the spirit of what we do and the way our community operates is we help each other out. We lift each other up. And it's the only way that we could win, right? I have a vision to close 1,000 deals in a day. That's my vision. That's my goal. So the only way to accomplish that is eventually you'll run out of money, right? So we need a lot of capital. And on the other side of that, we need a lot of people. So those 1,000 deals a day that are going to be closing are going to be the people in this room, right? So we all have to contribute. We all have to help any which way. I think Diego's on this call. He came in, he called me and said, "Hey, I want to learn about real estate. Your uncle said to get with you." And I was like, whatever, talked to the guy for like an hour. And now he's become one of the biggest assets to the team. He just has like an IT background. He's always making spreadsheets, drone shots, editing videos. Like nobody told him to do any of that stuff. None of it. Nobody told him to do anything. And I think he probably had one of the biggest Decembers he's ever had in his life, And that's what it is. It's people contributing, helping. How can I help? Like John mentioned, even if you don't have capital to invest, amazing. You can, like you said, get in there and say, "Man, I've learned lots from these guys. You guys are the real deal." That kind of stuff. Wherever you see it live, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and the algorithm will go to work and it'll mass distribute it. So somebody hits us up and they're like, "Hey, man, I got to park $20 million from a 1031. Well, now I'm going to go to the Facebook group and I'm going to say, "Hey, which one of you cowboys has a land deal ready to go?" Right? Your hands go up. There's $20 million. Like right now, we have $2 to $3 million to drop right now, and we haven't found the ranch for it yet. We threw out 2 or 3 offers last week. We're throwing out 2 or 3 more this week. But if somebody in this room had one ready to go that was all papered up the way I asked you guys to do it, then bam, we can send 2 million today, tomorrow, anytime. So yeah, get out there, guys. Get it. Tell everybody what you're doing. If you can be on the show tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Texas time, if you guys can help us boost that algorithm, like John said, it'll work wonders for all of us. So we appreciate you being here. This call's every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. It's the same call every time. And if you need a recording of this call, remember to message one of us, customer service 210-972-1842, and we'll send you a recording of this call. I think this was a good one. This is pretty much everything we do, start to finish, in 15 minutes. You see that Real Estate Disruptors link in the chat? I'm sure there's a Facebook one too. So yeah, man.
Yeah. He must put out a pretty good podcast. An episode from a year ago is still getting 1 view per hour.
Yeah, it's just consistent.
1 view per hour on Facebook. That means 24 views per day. I mean, this is part of why we put a lot of this stuff up on YouTube. Is this content is evergreen content.
Lives forever.
When knowledge is being laid down, people keep going back to it. And the more people who go to it, the more people who react to it, the more the YouTube algorithm pushes it. 1 year ago, this guy put up an episode, How to Correctly Pitch Innovations, with Eric Brewer, and it's still getting 1 view per hour. That says something. 8 years ago, he still has content that's relevant today and that's hitting. So it's tomorrow's episode is definitely going to hit hard for sure.
Sick, man. Well, I appreciate you guys being on here. Yep, YouTube's going to live forever. So if you guys make comments now, you were there live, you saw it first. Hit us up, man. Let us, like Frank said, it's a constant fountain of information we're trying to pump into you guys so we can do a deal with you, right? We don't get paid if you don't get paid. So follow the steps on this call. Go out there, find a deal. We'll fund it. I think that's the only reason we couldn't grow is because we didn't have the funding. Daniel and myself, that's why we got so good at creative, because we were working with empty wallets, right? So now where we are, we have more capital than deals. So help us help you guys. Everybody have a blessed night, man. Thank you for being on.
I got a few questions.
Still there, Anthony?
Anthony out? I think he's
Don't
out.
What's the questions?
Well, I guess why it's just because I had certain deals, but then I guess generally, Frank, because you know when people ask retail, but then of course they're still asking too high. Either open to was I think I don't know, it's like 25% down, but 5-year balloon, which kind of kills it because if they're asking retail, we need more time than just 5 years. Because my goal is usually, as you know, 30 years or longer.
I mean, it just comes down to they're not ready to sell.
Yeah, like the
You know,
follow up pretty much.
if the numbers don't work, I'll check back in 90 days. You know, it's it's that simple. You know, if they haven't gotten to a position where they're willing to work with some realistic numbers, they still have unfortunately unrealistic expectations.
Exactly.
They think their property is too good. They think the market's too strong for what they
What you
have
gonna do with
in the area. So, it's just, not working yet. So try back in 90 days, when they get realistic, and it's a give and take. If they want more money up front, they got to give, I'll give you the money you want up front, but you got to give me more time. If they want 25% down, fine. I need 30 years, or, I at the very least, I need 20 years on this balloon so that I can create the cash, create that return on the back end. So as long as they're willing to hold it longer, we can put more money in up front. Otherwise, it's a give and take.
Exactly like that teeter-totter. That's why I always tell the agents, like, I guess can't do one. Is a lowball cash offer or more time at their list price. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Appreciate it, Frank.
To get a copy of the video, just text the support line as Edward. I apologize, I keep mispronouncing your name. Posted, just text, that you'd like a copy of this episode and your email address, and the link will be gotten to you so that you've got it. So with that, thank you, everybody. And for those of you who got here late, sorry about that. Ask in the group, Winnie, who got here late, depending on what the property is, and stuff, or do the request this episode, do the research, do the stuff that's required beforehand, and then submit it via Submit Big Land, and we'll take a look at it. We'll go forward from there.